Please note, before we begin, the following mock ship check demonstrations are intended for educational purposes only. These scenes were filmed inside mock ship compartments, and personal protective equipment, PPE, was intentionally not worn to clearly show each step of the process.
All right, Brian, so what's the next job we got to look at today?
They're saying that they have a suspected fire inside this electrical box and they want it replaced.
Okay, so they had a suspected electrical fire in the space. Looks like they've already de-energized, take the cable out of it, so that means that they're good. That means that they've already secured the power to it.
Yep.
So basically, what do we need to look at on this now?
The data plates.
Okay.
The
location of the box and what load center it's fed from or whatever. Okay. What piece of equipment in here is pretty important that is affected by this fuse box right now?
The potable water pump.
Potable water pump number 2 is down because this fuse can't be used.
Yeah.
It's the distribution box for the power for that. So we need to get this up immediately. So,
yes,
all right. So basically, you got this up here that tells you what the NSN number is, which is a national stock number, which you know that's the way we order parts in the military, or the military orders parts. So this says it's a distribution box 143.1. We're in 143.1 Echo. And it's coming from load center 21, 4 Papa, 8 Charlie, whatever, whatever the designation for the line is that comes in the main feeder for this, okay? This is the main power line. This one is just probably where they had the fire and they removed it, okay? So what would be, we get that data plate, what should we be getting off the cables?
Where they're coming from? Where the load's coming from?
Yeah, but how do you know that? What tells you that? We did this earlier.
The labeling on the wire?
Yeah, you remember the little, it's called a cable designator tag.
Cable designator tag.
Cable designator tag. So you want to get that information because that's the most important thing. They need to know what it is. Because this cable, depending on what kind of electrical fire had, this cable may have burnt back to wherever it's going to. So you may not just have damage here. It may be damaged once they start doing the inspection. It may be damaged in the load center or wherever it's being fed from, like another distribution panel or something. Okay, so basically, they want to replace this box. So we just need to take a look at the foundation. It looks like it's a bolted on frame.
Yep.
We just want to make sure the angle irons behind it are good. They look good.
Yep.
So basically what we're going to do is just replace this whole box.
Okay.
And that means the fuses and everything will automatically get replaced in it. So I'm going to go over a little bit of a safety. This one's disconnected. I'm going to cover some safety items with you about electrical boxes. Do not ever open this box. I'm going to do something, but this is only for training purposes for you, okay?
Yep.
So just so you understand, because if you walk up on one that happens to be open, I want you to understand the dangers of going inside of it, okay? So there's usually 3 of these on the bottom. There's 3 of these tabs, okay? It's always closed. You're never supposed to break the plane, okay? So I'm going to describe to you what breaking the plane is, okay? So as you can see, when you open this, you can see that you have the fuse panel box in there, right? So if you put this level with the top and you actually made like an invisible dome between this corner arcing up to this one right here, if you reach anywhere from the side or inside that zone, it is considered breaking the plane, okay? The reason they don't want you to ever break the plane is because power can come to you. You don't have to go to it. And if you don't have the proper gear on, it will kill you. You are not grounded. Ships aren't grounded, okay? So we need to understand that. So if, say, for instance, they had this fire and they had it blocked open for some reason, don't just come up here and start taking pictures. Now, if you want to stand back and take pictures of that or any data plates you can see in there, you can zoom in on that stuff and do it without breaking the plane. Okay. But don't ever try to close it on your own or anything either. Just leave it as it is but like I said, because you don't know if this is the de-energized or if this cable has been even shut down yet. This may still be a hot box, okay? So understand when you're doing anything electrical, and that's for any kind of electrical box, motor controllers, which we looked at over there earlier. We talked about that in another space. I was explaining it to you. They usually have the push buttons to turn on motors and shut them off. There'll be like a motor controller for this. There'll be a motor controller for that pump. Basically, that's what we have. So they would just order this box. These are pretty much cut and dry. There's not much to them. There's not much we can go in depth with this because of its electrical nature. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. So the only other thing that you have to look at is if this cable runs through an open cable passageway or multi-cable transit. Okay, so okay, Brian, when we were talking about doing the electrical distribution box on the other side, I wanted to make something clear to you. Remember the white cable that went into that box, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, it goes through the bulkhead, and as you can see, it's here in this MCT. This is a square MCT. Multi-cable transit system is what there's for, okay? Then they have round MCTs, okay? What these do is this bulkhead, if this door wasn't here, it would be a solid bulkhead. This could be a fire boundary or a flooding boundary.
Okay.
These have to be installed, all these rubber blocks have to be installed and compressed to make it, what do you think the purpose of that is?
Sealed.
To seal it off,
Watertight.
to make it watertight integrity, right?
Yes, sir.
Same thing with these. They put that big block in the top and they put the smaller ones in, but if they got to replace this cable, what are they going to have to do?
Take the box out.
They're going to have to loosen these two on the top, pull that plug, pull this wire, refeed it a new one through that block, put all this back in and retighten everything, and then they have to do a smoke and blow test to make sure that it's not flooding. It's sealed off again, okay? So you got the round style and you got these. These can go through bulkheads, but they can also go through the overhead or the deck.
Okay.
You can see them like that, okay? And sometimes these boxes won't have anything in them. They're just open, but normally that would be in a bulkhead that's not watertight boundary. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of blocking it off when you got a 2 foot wide hole at the,
Right.
below it? You know what I'm saying? These you can see topside normally, but you see them down here as well. Or if they're in a tank where there's fluid, these are called kick pipes, okay?
Okay.
They're just diameter pipes, and when the cable goes through it, is basically they have, see if I can get this one to come out. I don't know if it has it in it. No, it does not. So you see how far my finger goes in there, like that far. There's a rubber grommet that goes in there on top of the cable here, and what happens is when you screw this nut against it, it compresses that nut and makes it watertight, okay? So in other words, when you tighten that up, it squeezes it against the cable itself and it pushes it out against the sides of the kick pipe. Okay. Most of these are topside. You'll see these all over the topside, all along the edge of the ship where any kind of electrical connections and stuff are, but you will see them down below. And they're predominantly known to be in like potable water tanks and stuff because these have that rubber on the inside and they can seal these easier, whereas you got all this open area and it can be bacterial, you know, if it's in a potable water tank. So but they try not to put things in tanks like that because of the cleanliness standard. But fuel tanks, ballast tanks, anything that you can fill with water that just are oily waste tanks, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's where you would normally see these, okay? So basically, and then this is a transformer assembly that you just happen to see here. This is just another electrical component. These portions that you see here in the overhead, these racks, they're called just cableways. That's all they call them.
Cableways,
Those are just cableways, okay?
All right.
They just help support in the overhead. If you happen to notice cables like this throughout the ship, and like I said, do not ever touch these cables.
Yes, sir.
Because they're technically supposed to be marked with a tag that says they've been de-energized and who de-energized them and how they did it.
Gotcha.
If there's a big white tag on it, you probably shouldn't have to worry about grabbing it or moving it out of your way. But if it's just hanging like that, or like this one right here, that's just wide open with the bare wires and it even taped over, that could be very, very, very dangerous, okay? Because you don't know if that's actually something that just may have just happened or it's been cut and nobody realized it yet, like behind your head. Stuff like that, but there's just make sure that these are tagged if you touch any of these, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because you don't know whether it's live or not. So, any questions about the MCTs or the kick pipes or the cableways?
No, sir.
Okay.